What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're checking back in on an old friend because it is getting updated. So a lot of people don't know about this, but the developers pushed a beta branch for testing purposes on this game that's freely available to the public, where they add in, I think, around 5 new classes, all with their own loadouts and combat strategies. There's chariot races now. They've added in a bunch of stuff, and while all of it is not feature complete, like it's still being worked on, you can go test this stuff out right now and go help out the developer if you're a big fan of Domina. So if you don't know what Domina is, this is a game where you take on control of a Ludus, and you're responsible for training gladiators that will go into the arena and live and die for your profit. And it's a really, really fun game. This game is absolutely a blast. We played it on Twitch for a few days straight once I found out about the beta branch. So there's about 6 or 7 hours of VODs you can check out on my Twitch channel if you wanted to see a little bit more. But it was a good time. It was a really, really good time, especially with the Twitch integration. And so anyways, let's start off a new game, and I'll do my best to get you acquainted with what the game is and how it plays. And I honestly, this is a really, really great game. It's not enough gladiator stuff. There's never enough gladiator stuff. The sun is setting on the Roman Empire. Violent rebellion erupts in the far territories while political corruption erodes the empire closer to home. Fearing a revolt, the emperor intends to distract the population with the greatest gladiatorial championship the empire has ever seen, promising unimaginable rewards of coin and glory. Yeah, if it's unimaginable, you just aren't being ambitious enough. I tend to side with Han Solo on this one. The emperor hopes to revitalize commerce and establish the rule of law once again, but Rome is disintegrating in his clenched fist. It may be your last chance for glory in Rome. The next local games are scheduled soon, and you aim to win. I don't really need the tutorial. This game runs at all times, so I may be frequently pausing like this and just kind of like putting the options up on screen, just because like the game doesn't really like, well, I guess it does pause. Never mind. Goes to show how much I know. I hit the space bar and now we're paused. So let's talk about the game and what you need to keep track of in order to be a successful Domina. Over here, we have the Dottore. This guy's job is to... He's not a doctor, by the way. I know his name implies that he's a doctor, but the Dottore is not the doctor. He's a very important guy. He's usually a very, very seasoned gladiator who's survived a lot of fights, and he trains all the gladiators who come on in, and he's actually going to be the first access you're going to have to your skill tree. It's also important to note that this guy will upgrade too if you play the endless mode. You only have 365 days to play the game if you're playing like in the normal mode, and then the game ends and it has like a storyline and an ending and a resolution and all that kind of stuff. If you're playing the game on endless mode, this guy has an upgrade with an entirely different skill tree that is equally as large as this one. So keep that in mind as well. For right now, we want to train humility. That means that our guys can surrender once their HP gets lower. It doesn't always happen. Everything in this game is kind of like random and you never know what's going to occur, but if we have that trained, they will sometimes surrender instead of dying, and then the crowd will vote on whether or not they live or die based on their performance. We also want to enable automatic gladiator training, and what you'll see is these guys will start training in the middle of the field. Callius appears to be our main guy. Callius apparently weighs about 60 kilos. He's got 42 kilos of gear on right now. It's a little bit heavy right there. It looks like he's won twice and he's lost once. He's content at the moment. We can right-click or left-click on any of his equipment to upgrade it. This stuff right here effectively just kind of like raises his HP and makes him a little bit tougher. You can't adjust things in the options because this game is very prone to one-shottings. You can address things in the settings to make the fights last longer. Just be aware the longer the fights last, the more random they get and the more that things like crits and the more that things like bleeds and stuff like that matter too. And so the results might be a little bit less predictable if you're playing with the game on kind of like slow combat. But anyways, apparently he's very aggro. So apparently he likes to attack and get on the inside of the enemy's defense. That's good because offense is everything in this game. For right now, the other things we need to look at is we have our cards over here. You will get cards sometimes as rewards for fights that you've been through, and you can slot them on your characters. As you can see, they've got a little card slot right there. Or you can just drag and discard them and sell them for money if you end up needing coin. Over here at the city marketplace, we can buy food, we can buy water, and we can buy wine. I strongly recommend that you clear this stuff out whenever you can because there are events like droughts or like crop shortages that will run things out, and if you can't feed your guys or water your guys, they start losing health and they're not going to do so great. Also important is attending attending pit fights right here. Attending pit fights is basically fights to the death, kind of in the mud and in the gutters, just of the streets. Like, these are effectively fights with no rules, but you can make a lot of money on them. The only downside is you can't see the stats of your opponent if it's an unofficial fight, so you kind of don't know what you're walking into, and you can lose guys pretty easily, even if they're really high level. We can also hire more employees over here. We can get things like agents and bars and agricultures to help us out. My recommendation is that we pick up the architect first, and we pick up the Faber, and then I would also recommend that we pick up, we can have 3 guys, right? The Medicus. Yeah, we'll get the Medicus too. And as you can see, they're now in the backfield of our training area. The Faber is going to automatically upgrade your guy's gear once you've researched that. We'll put him on auto repair, and I'm going to tell him to automatically upgrade people's gear. The Architect adds things to the field right here that will make you more effective at training. So I'm going to get him to work starting training palaces. And then the Medicus is going to make people heal faster. So I'm going to start his research right there to get him moving. Important characters are the Legate Jaden Mella. They have a reputation meter. As you have exhibitions and fights that they are sponsoring and you make them successful, this meter will go up. And this meter is very, very important because if the meter is negative, it means they're going to give you fights that are kind of biased against your favor. Like, they're going to give you things like 3v1s, and they're going to request your champion to try to, like, murder him off and stuff like that. If it's positive, it's much more likely that they will give you fights that swing in your favor, i.e. sending in, like, one low-level guy to fight against, like, 3 of your champions, and it'll just be free money that you can print for yourself. For right now, we don't need to bribe him or anything, but what I would suggest, we have a battle in 5 days. I would suggest, so let's take this little guy right here, Honorius. I'm going to have him be a... So here's the new classes, by the way. The default classes in the game for when we played it years and years ago were the Thrakes, the Murmelo, and the Retiarius. Now they've added the Charioteer, the Velite, they've added the Scissor, and they've added the Sagittarius. The Velite basically dual wields pilums that he can throw. So he dual wields spears, and both spears are like throwable. And so it makes him a bit of a wild card. You never know how the Velite is going to do in battle. Sometimes he throws a spear and one-shots a guy to the neck. Other times he throws his weapon, and then he's kind of like unarmed, and he's like dodging and running around. Very cool for fun fights, though. The Charioteer is specifically for chariot races. He's not that great at combat, but he does make your chariots go much, much faster. The Scissor specializes in heavy armor opponents, so he dual wields kind of like these farming implements, like they're kind of like scythes, but he shears armor off of people is effectively what he does. And so, like, the Scissor is not to be slept on. The Sagittarius is kind of a late bloomer. It's a guy with a bow. At low levels, the Sagittarius is freaking terrible, but at higher levels, he's actually like a really, really useful guy to have on your team. So think of him as kind of being like the wizard of this game. They start out really, really weak, but if you can manage to get one leveled up to, say, level 80 or level 90, then they start to really wreak havoc on the enemy without putting themselves at risk. I'm going to go ahead and train a... Oh, I can't do Murmelo training yet. All right, well, you're a Thrakes then. We'll go ahead and give you some basic gear. I don't really have a lot of money to play around with right now, but I'm going to give you, like, some of the basics right there just so you're equipped and ready to go. Everybody is working on upgrades. We have a scheduled fight in 5 days. We'll keep an eye on that and sort of see what it is. Hopefully our champ can handle it. If he can't, we'll probably pass on the fight. He's done researching humility over here. I recommend doing nimble stance next so that our gladiators always run in combat, and it doesn't cost as much stamina to do so. So these guys are all out here training. Our first palace is up. We'll put the champ on the palace. Go ahead and build me a few more. And then he's not done with his. He's not done with antibiotics, but he should be pretty soon. Have they restocked all this stuff? There we go. We'll buy all that real fast. No pit fights for right now. Pit fights are kind of like folly at this point in the game. We have Ballista. Ballista is apparently a level 15 defender. We can put in our best guy. I think it's a good idea. We'll put in Kalius. All right, so Kalius is in. Let's see how... Oh, no, I rejected the terms on accident. It's okay. We got 7 days till our next fight. The good news about that is what we can do now is we can actually do an exhibition to make him happy. So your guys will level up while fighting in exhibitions, and the bonus here is that they cannot die while they're in exhibition. So we'll put one guy in right there, and then we'll put one guy in right there, and we'll just have them fight. So there you go. Off we go. We may even get a little bit of a paycheck from this if they fight well enough. This will give us an opportunity to sort of appraise how good they are at their jobs, too. Okay, a little bit of damage off. They're kind of whittling on each other. This is good, though. Like, you don't want people getting hit for, like, 190 damage if you can help it, because they get one-shotted, and then they don't really level up. The more they swing, the more they defend, the more they attack, the more they're going to level up after this fight. And actually, Polybius seems to be doing a much better job. Yeah, he did a much better job than Callius. So I think we may have saved Callius's life by skipping that last fight on accident. Here's the ending right here. It looks like, yeah, both of them got a pretty considerable amount of training on in there. They are going to be a little bit wounded, so what we need to do for right now is, because our Medicus is doing research, he can't heal anybody. So what we're going to do is we're going to heal these guys up real fast, and we'll see if we can get them kind of patched up a little bit. It's going to take a while, but it should be done before the next battle goes through. And now he's actually, oh, Nimble Stance is done. Good. Go with Aimed Attack. And then over here, we'll do another Palace. You go ahead and train on that one right there. And then our Medicus is done. That means I already put people on auto heal, so the Medicus can just go to his next research. So basically what the Medicus does is he will heal people so long as they are not manually healing, but I already set them to manually heal, so it's like, yeah, whatever. Callius should be back up and ready to rock by the end of this ordeal. He's training again, so we'll put him right there so that when the Palace comes through, he's got something to train on. And then once the Palace is done, we're going to put in a gather stones location so that they can pick up big rocks to get stronger. It'll go from the top left to the bottom right is how it kind of goes in. It kind of goes in waves. He's got automatic upgrade. Let's go ahead and I think I'm just going to keep him on auto. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep him on auto upgrade for right now. There we go. He upgraded him to a scissor helm, as you can see. So he's looking a little bit better. Some of these upgrades get really, really expensive. So having the Faber just automatically upgrading people can be like a big boon. Let's go ahead and we'll go for shield control. Since everybody's a Thrakes right now, we'll go for shield control. He should be a little bit happier with us. We got Orange Julius over here. He is around level 22. I don't think we have anybody that can take him, so we're going to continue skipping on over these, and we'll arrange exhibition matches to make these people happy anyways. So we'll go with, let's have Callius in here, and we'll have Callius, and then we'll have Polybius. Actually, just throw in everybody. Why not? Everybody needs levels. Everybody needs to get stronger, and until they do, we're not going to be able to accomplish a whole lot. We can also hire experienced gladiators from the Legate. I'm basically just trying to kind of get rid of all my negatives right now. Yeah, he's getting squeezed a little bit, but he's putting out a little bit of damage. He should get 5 or 6 levels from this. There we go. So he's now down and he's surrendered. This should make the Legate a little bit happier with us so that we can get some fights that are more weighted in our favor instead of things that are kind of like a crapshoot, which I'd prefer to avoid. Very nice. Okay, so they've leveled up a little bit. I'm meant to put him on auto heal. There we go. The Faber is fixing everybody, and it looks like we've got some guys moving along. He's getting up there. The stats that you have to worry about in this game, you have agility. It's their movement speed, effectively. Their weapons right here will make them hit harder. Their defense makes them resist damage. Their strength makes it so, you know, they get more HP, attack damage, defense resilience. And then this right here, meditate, it trains them to just fight better using the AI algorithm. And you can actually move those sliders to kind of force them to train a certain way if you want to. Let's get gather stones again. All right, stones have been gathered. These guys are like kind of happy with us. Let's maybe send over like some wine. There we go. Send him over like 20 wine. And then we'll send you over like 20 wine. I'm trying to make sure the next fights are very much stacked in our favor. At least I would prefer for it to go that way. We can also check him out to see if there's any good gladiators around. We have Ligdamus. Ligdamus is pretty good. He's not bad. He's not terrible. I think we could use him. We haven't been making any money, though, because we haven't been taking fights. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to take the next one, even if we have to sacrifice somebody. Which is a little bit of a bummer, but maybe we'll be okay. You go ahead and heal up, dude. You're my best fighter as of right now. So I'm thinking, let's see, Radiariuses are pretty... Oh, we don't have enough money. Okay, we'll go for something simpler then until we get a little bit further. Buy all the food, buy all the water, buy all the wine. We can look at the pit fights. But the pit fights... Yeah, the pit fights, he's got 5 victories, so you kind of got to look at how much he's been winning. to figure that out. Sophronius. Okay, it's a 1v1. He's got decent agility. I don't know who I want to send up against him. I guess we'll send in Kalius. If Kalius goes down, that's life. This guy looks like he's kind of wounded already, so maybe it'll be okay. There you go, there you go. There we go. He won his first fight. Okay. I was getting, there was a little touch and go right there for a minute, man. You have my permission to win a little bit more decisively. You don't have to drag it out like that. But hey, he won. We got ourselves some money, some food, some favor. We've got another guy right here, so that's pretty cool. I think his main problem is that he's using the wooden gladius that has no reach. So I'm going to upgrade him to the comma using the winnings. I've noticed that he's been standing back and missing swings a lot, and I think that's due to the fact that he's using a shorter weapon. A flash flood has damaged the villas of both the legate and the magistrate. While they're too proud to ask for temporary residence in your villa, you are nonetheless expected to offer your home to them. Yeah, we can offer it to the legate. He declines your offer, but is pleased. And then this guy's going to be a little bit grumpy. He's going to be a little bit grumpy in the dumpy with me, but that's okay. This man just won a victory, so he should be pretty happy once we heal him. Get everybody healed real fast. Turianus, what do I want to do with you? Yeah, we can make you a Velite. Why not? There you go. Get yourself a couple of spears. Get you a little helmet over here. You can't have shoulder pads. He can't have shin guards, so, you know, he's going to be a little bit squishy, but I think he's going to be all right. There's not going to be any food or water because of the flood. That's why I stocked up, so as you can see, we're good to go on that front. They should be done with most of their researches pretty soon. Give me another palace over here. This is not the palace that they expected when I promised them a palace if they came and worked for me. But, you know, it is what it is. We should probably do an exhibition. Let's do an exhibition over here. I'm going to put in Honorius, and this will be Honorius versus our new Velite. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. I don't really have any hopes for either of them to win. Oh, wow, you hit that spear on the first go. Oh, dude, you got to get in there, man. You got to get in there. Yeah, he's just not getting in there aggressively enough. Woof. Not great. I mean, he hit that first spear throw, but that was about all of the highlights from this particular fight. It was pretty much a one-sided stomp. That's okay, though, because that allowed Honorius to get a little bit stronger. So I'll take that. It does add a loss to their record, which makes them a little bit upset when you do exhibition matches. But, like, what are you going to do? I would start with, we got a battle in one day. Yeah, put on auto-healing, too. Just heal whoever you can. Palace is done. We have Eumenius. Eumenius is a little bit stronger, but it's a 2v1. So we can put in Kalius, and we can probably put in Ligdamus. And since it's a 2v1, I've got like high hopes that they're going to walk away from this one coming out on top. I can't promise it, but I definitely hope. With the superior comma that we gave to our new guy, like I'm hoping he hits like a truck. Yeah, it pretty much like tripled his damage right there, so that's nice. Oof, got him. We almost lost a guy right there. I was holding my breath, dude. This is a really hard game to do commentary in because, like, you're holding your breath, just be like, come on, pull it out. Pull it out, bro. Pull it out. Nice. Their AI training is maxed out, and they're getting stronger now. Very nice. As you can see, while he's training, the medic is actually taking care of his wounds. Until we upgrade the medic some more, though, it's going to be kind of, like, slow going, and he can only heal one guy at a time. Let's go with... Evasive roll is pretty good, and rolling attack is one of the better things in the game, so I may beeline rolling attack. Everybody's pretty happy with us right now. Nobody really has any complaints. I'll put armor stewardship on him so that his armor takes less damage. I would like to see his HP go up a bit, so if we could, like, strength train him for right now, I would appreciate that. He's going to get all the experience he needs from, like, normal combat anyways. We'll go ahead and give this guy, like, one upgrade to everything. Yeah. We'll just give him a few more little pieces right here. We'll upgrade his weapon. We'll give him like a little upgrade right there. Just like a little bit of this and that. It is costing us money to do this, but like I'd like my guys to be kind of like geared out and looking better. The Doctoria is doing his research, so that's nice. This table right here is going to give you all of the scheduled games. You have to beat 3 of these in order to qualify for the final boss effectively. So keep that in mind. Give me another palace real fast. We've got a 3v2? I don't even know if my guys are healed up yet. I mean, Kalius is alright. Polybius is in there. I'd like Ligdamus to go in, but Ligdamus is kind of hurt, so we'll see how this plays. I don't know. We may lose somebody right here. But we need to keep taking these fights in order to continue, like, enriching ourselves and making sure we still have the overhead to kind of, like, run the... Okay, he's dead. That guy just has a knife, so I think we're okay right there. There we go. Chopped his arm off. He's been disarmed, quite literally. Some more free level ups. Really, you kind of got to focus on getting, like, ahead of the curve in this game. If you can get a couple guys leveled up and make them, like, strong, you can get ahead of the difficulty curve, and then you'll be all right for the rest of the game. But for right now, you kind of got to take it one step at a time. He's still putting up a palace. Once everybody's healed, we'll start thinking about, hey, evasive roll's done. Rolling attack is $150, but rolling attack is something that the characters do use to great effect. Basically, they get iframes and they roll through the enemy while swinging, kind of samurai style, and it does a lot of damage. Like, it's actually a pretty good ability. It'll definitely save your characters every now and again. I've seen a bunch of people kind of have, like, recoveries where they're losing a fight, but then they start spamming the dodge roll attack, and, like, they pull it out at the end. Let's see here. Defending an attack can interrupt. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can put defensive priority on you. Basically, what that means is if he blocks an enemy's attack, it disrupts his attack speed for like a couple seconds. So it's kind of nice to have on in there. It's not the best thing we could have on in there, but it is still good. Let's put another gather stone spot for right here. He should just be lifting stones, and as you can see, his HP has already gone up by 6 or 7. And so, like, the magistrate's wife is reported missing. Will you lend your guards to look for her? Sure. The guards never find the woman. She emerges from a brothel several days later in a drunken stupor and announces that she favors women and will leave the magistrate, only that he is so poorly endowed that it is almost as if he were a woman anyways. The magistrate appreciates your support. Agreed. Oh my goodness. This game is definitely kind of gnarly when it comes to the subject matter. This is definitely kind of a grimdark game. Apparently we've got to fight Taquidoius. I love taquitos. I don't really want to fight him. Do I have anybody that's a match for him? Yeah, dude. Kalius is a match for him. Assuming he doesn't get netted and tackled. It's possible he may get netted and murdered, but we'll see what happens. Well, he got out of the net, so that's good. It's not looking great right now. Oh, he pulled it out at the end. The showmanship. Okay, definitely, like I said, you're free to win much more rapidly and decisively if you want, man. You don't need to make me stress out like this. It's also important to note that I do have the slow combat turned on, so it's much more random and difficult. I've played this game quite a lot, and I found that there's almost no challenge on the base difficulty for me anymore. And so I've got it, like, if I remember correctly, I should anyways. It should be, yeah, it's on very brutal right now. And so, like, you know, I don't know if that difficulty slider does right there. I think it just changes around things with, like, the basic game. I don't know. Usually I adjust this thing when I'm trying to make the game harder. By default, it starts out over here, and so I put it over on this side to make the fights last longer and make them more interesting. A little bit more grueling, anyways. Kalius is developing into quite the champion. I think he's going to be all right. We do need to get some exhibitions going, though. I need to keep these other guys training just in the off chance that I need them for anything. Let's go with some of the lower level guys. Yeah, we'll put in you 3. Oh, it's only a 2v2. Okay. We'll put you guys in right there, and then we'll put you guys up against Turianus, because Turianus needs a level. I'd like to have a Velite that I can swap in whenever I want. So he missed his spear throw right there. Oh, the other dude picked up his spear! Dude, are you about to get whooped with your own weapon? Please don't do that. That's embarrassing. There we go. He needs some W's under his belt, man. Oh, that guy got a knife from the crowd. Well, they learned something. So everybody had a little bit of time in the pit, which means they'll all level up a little bit. Turianus Actually got a bunch of levels from that. Good for you, man. He actually went from, like, bad to not that terrible. I'm going to keep researching, and we'll just heal these guys manually. Yeah, you guys go ahead and heal on up. I do recommend that you keep some guys in the group as, like, punching bags for your lower level guys so that they can play catch-up as the game goes along. Give me another gather stones, please. We got another fight against the mysterious Justin. He actually has a really high defense level, like a worryingly high defense level. Kalius is not healed yet. 28 and 41. I'm going to have to skip this one. My champion's not healed. I don't want to skip it, but I'm going to have to skip it. We have enough money to kind of float us for a little bit anyway, so we can be kind of like choosy about the fights and things that we take. I can also bribe my way back up to the top. We can look at the pit fights. Let's look at the pit fights real fast. Anything good in the pit? This guy's a liability. This guy, if it was just this guy, I'd send in somebody low level to go beat him up, but for right now, I'm trying to only take sure things. So, these guys are all trained. Hey, attack roll's done. Good. Let's go with blade control to increase our damage a little bit so that it'll be a tad more decisive when we're hitting enemies. I do think that it's a good idea that we get a water well, because that'll supply us with a little bit of water every single day and kind of like deal with our overhead. These guys should be all healed up, so they're looking good. Everybody's looking solid. I'm going to keep getting his healing to be faster. Mavortius. This guy is decent, actually. He's level 30. Okay. Is it a 2v1? It's a 1v1. Well, we may lose our boy here. We have a slight advantage, but not much of one. We'll see how this goes. I probably should have upgraded his gear more. He's starting to get up to higher level. Yeah, he's getting starched. Oh, he lost it right at the 9th yard, or right at the 5-yard line, dude. So that's going to be undue hardship right there. If you lose like one of your main guys in this game, it can be kind of difficult to bounce back because the game has a natural difficulty progression. We're going to need to start scouting around and looking at gladiators that maybe we can get from the legate. Oh, we got another fight. But it's going to be tough. Like, we're going to struggle. You really don't want to lose your best guy early in the game like we just did. But hey, that's the randomness of ramping up the brutality of the fights. Like I showed you earlier, as they get more random the higher that slider is. So we need to start exhibitioning around the clock to try to get a new champion. But we are now super officially behind the difficulty curve. So hopefully these guys fight well. I do think that our character could have won that if I had upgraded his gear. I just totally forgot about it. And so he was outclassed as far as gear goes. He fought his best. He got the other guy down to one-hit territory, but, you know, he played it too close at the beginning. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. That was actually a really, really good fight. That was a super good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing what massive gains both of these guys get. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. We're going to go ahead and put him back on healing because I think my doctor is working on other stuff anyways. And we'll kind of keep that going. He's not where I want him to be, but hopefully he'll get there. Are you healing? I need everybody to be healing. And then Polybius and Turianus. Actually, let's send in... Let's see here. So we've got... Oh, there's no exhibitions available? Never mind then. After a military defeat nearby, several of the legate's officers are on the run from the Gauls. Yeah, we'll give them food and water and send them on their way. They are grateful for your assistance and escape the Gaul war party set to find them. The legate is appreciative. Good. We gotta, like, max these guys out, like we really do. I'm gonna check for new gladiators and see if there's anybody that can replace my old guy. Yeah, these guys are all, like, level 15s. That's not gonna be good enough. They're also expensive. Yeah, we'll have to play it by ear. But this is Domina. I like this game a lot. It's a fun game, and they're adding more content to it. We can actually kind of turn these guys into the other things so you can see what they look like. So there's what the scissor looks like right there. The scissor is pretty good. Don't sleep on the scissor. The scissor is actually a pretty decent class. They're not too bad. I like them a lot. They're kind of like a different Murmelo. And then these guys right here, the Sagittarius, you can upgrade their bow a little bit. Like I said, late bloomers. So these guys are not necessarily going to be altogether that great until you get a lot further on into the game. So just fair warning there. And then this little guy right here can be, we already did the Velite, but the Charioteer is pretty simple. He doesn't really upgrade. He's just a guy that makes your horses go faster. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day, so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Domina, which is getting an update. You can check out the beta branch if you go to the properties on Steam, and you can play that and help play test it yourself. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for stopping on in. Hi do, and take care, everybody. That's all I done got for you.